Welcome to Mr. Brown's Basement, a channel devoted to sharing the craft of repairing, restoring, and modifying vintage electronic gear, and other random stuff.
Today I'm going to be looking at an RCA E09525KW television receiver. There's actually nothing wrong with it other than the odd scratch or bruise from time. I wanted to open it up just to see what the inside looked like. There isn't a lot of information about this model or related models on the internet, so this will be the first, or maybe not. On the front it's labeled Color Track, AC/DC remote, and Space Saver. It's a 9-inch color CRT. Down below there's a sensor for the infrared remote and buttons for power and channel and other things. There was another model that had an AM/FM radio. This one doesn't have it. On the back there's something like a handle and a place for a TV antenna. At the bottom, a female connector for cable and power, of course. Unfortunately, there's no video input on this set. To disassemble, there are 2 screws underneath the handle, one on either side of the AC input, 2 at the bottom. I'll have to take out that nut around the antenna input as well. I've taken out these 2 screws so far in this hex nut, and I've discovered why it's called AC/DC, because this plug here has 2 conductors for AC input and 2 conductors for 12 volts. I used a 1/4-inch socket and pulled out all 6 screws, and they're all exactly the same size and length. There we have it. Here's the flyback transformer. Not surprisingly, there's a lot of dust on it. It's the high voltage transformer. It charges particles that end up getting attracted, and they certainly have become attracted. So I'll brush this off. Obviously something else was here on a different model because they've left this open. Deflection yoke. Don't turn that or else you'll tilt the picture. Drive controls and screen controls for the 3 guns of the picture tube. On the side there's a power supply, fuse, and a relay. Down at the bottom, that's the tuner. Right there, that's the chip that is the smarts for the entire set. That's often called the jungle chip. Don't ask me why. It really does need to be brushed out, and that will extend its life because it will be less likely to overheat. If you decide to take off the board here, it will expose the evacuation nipple at the bottom of the tube. It's very, very fragile and you can break the tube. Trio Industries Company Limited from 1990. With very dusty sets, I'll take them outside and brush them off with a paintbrush. Anything I can't reach, I'll blow out using this. The problem is it's very noisy, so I'm not going to video it while blowing out the TV. Now that it's cleaned out, I can see there's actually another fuse hiding right there. Now that it's looking more presentable, I'm going to put it back together. The only thing that needs to be in place is this frame here. It probably gives it extra rigidity. Has to fit over that. The last thing I want to do is find out which pins are for 120 volts and which pins are for 12, though I can't be sure of polarity. I think I've seen this plug before, maybe on a Sony. I've got this onto neutral. One, 2, 3. The neutral's on 3. 1, 2. We know it's not 3. 4. So live is on 4. 3 and 4 are AC. 1 and 2 must be DC, but we don't know what the polarity is. Now it does say 7 amps. Well, that's the rating of the plug, not the TV. This would be a good time to pause and get some feedback from my neighbor. Hey neighbor, what do you think of the video so far?
Yeah, it's almost as good as my minion.
Hey neighbor, you think you want to subscribe?
I will. I will.
Thank you, neighbor.
I'm going to take this and connect it up to a video input so you can see what it does. And then I'm going to put it next to my other futuristic televisions. Not bad color, not the greatest sound. But when you're fleeing a huge monster, who cares? Kind viewer, there is no reason to be frightened. By the end of the movie, Ghidra is overwhelmed by other monsters and forced to flee to outer space. There you have it, the E09525KW color television set. Finally, sitting all together, the RCA E09525KW, in the middle, a JVC 3241 Videosphere, and on the right, a Sharp 3S111R. Let me know in the comments section which one is your favorite. I think I prefer the middle one. I hope you enjoyed this video from Mr. Brown's basement. Please consider subscribing. After all, my neighbor can't be wrong. I'll see you for the next video. And thanks, of course, to Ghidra, the three-headed monster, without whom I could not have made this video.